I wanted to make a quick video about something that is a tool I use in my Namaste quest. It's called the Observer, Becoming the Observer. And I got a chance to practice my own philosophy last week. I took Chant for a ride, a friend of mine and I, and we rode on a trail that we have ridden on a lot, mostly in the fall last year. And we haven't ridden on it since. And there was this apocalyptic storm in December here, and it just took down trees and just trashed. It was truly apocalyptic. It was unbelievable. So we haven't been on that trail since then, and we had to wait for them to clean it. So we were all excited we're going to go on this ride. And when we got there, Chant was really focused on her instincts, and she kept looking up the hill. This is all on it's all single track, and it's into the side of the mountain for miles. And there are places the trail is really only about 10 to 12 inches wide. So it's, you have to trust your horse and pay attention. So we were going along and she kept looking up the hill, which is typical for horses. Predators come from above and they eventually settle in to that ride and just get into the groove of the single track. But I found myself being really irritated. And I thought, okay, something here needs to change. And about that time, she flipped around on the trail and was facing the other horse. And it just, when they flip around, it's just dangerous. There's no room. And you cannot pass the other horse. It's not even possible. So I had to figure out a way to get off and then turn her around without knocking the other horse off. And by then I was really irritated because I had expectations. And so I got back on, and I'm thinking this is not turning out to be the ride that I had thought it was going to be and what I had planned. So I decided to practice my own philosophy and become the observer. So I just detached from what I had planned, what I thought was going to happen, what I know is possible to happen on that trail because she normally likes it. And I just let go and I just observed from the perspective of just being neutral, without any judgment, without any attachment to outcomes, without any shoulda, woulda, couldas, without any kind of expectations or judgments. And what I saw was a human who had this agenda. I had this agenda that we were going to go out and do about 8 miles, and it was going to be fabulous, and she loves the trail, and she's going to navigate it like she always does. And what was actually happening from the observer's perspective is there was a horse that had not been on that trail since the fall, and her instincts were being very clear with her, that her awareness that things were very different. The woods were different than they were. Even though the trail had been cleared, there was a lot of brush and broken logs and cut logs on the trail. So to her, everything was very different. We were not doing the same ride that we had done in the fall. And when I realized what was going on with her, I just thought, I'm just going to back up and let it go, just kind of let the ride go where it needs to go, and just trust her that when she feels like she's comfortable, that we will go back into that groove that we're usually in when we're on that trail. And I know that could be controversial because I could say that she should trust me. The truth is, she was on the trail going forward as I asked, but it was my turn to trust her because there had been such a difference in the environment, and her sensory awareness was telling her all of the change that had taken place. And she didn't know it was from the storm. She just knew that the trail on the mountainside was different than it had been. And I decided to let it go. From the observer, I became non-attached, and I was just there to enjoy this experience as horse and human. And it really made the ride a lot better. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's a great tool to use whether you're having difficulties or whether you're having a fabulous euphoric experience. Because even if you're having a euphoric experience, you want to know how to recreate that. So become the observer and find out, what are you being? What are you feeling like? What are you attached to, or what are you not attached to? And look at it from the horse's perspective and see if you can gather the information needed so that you can recreate that in your future. So whether it's wonderful or whether you're having challenges, becoming the observer is an amazing tool to sort through things anywhere, with your animals, your job, your relationships, whatever. So thanks for joining me, and I hope it was beneficial for you to get some information about becoming the observer. I'm Delea with True North Equestrians.